Why does my boyfriend know more about skincare than me? Okay, so I need to preface this by saying I am a woman who has owned a Sephora loyalty card since I was 16. I have spent actual embarrassing amounts of money on skincare. I have watched the YouTube videos, I have read the Reddit threads, I have bought the serums with the complicated names I cannot pronounce. I thought I knew what I was doing. I did not know what I was doing. So my boyfriend Ethan, he's not like a beauty guy. He plays video games, he fixes cars in the driveway on weekends. He thinks going out means wearing a slightly nicer hoodie. Normal guy, completely regular. Except for one thing, the man reads skincare labels like they're legal documents. Every single time we walked into Sephora, which I dragged him into regularly, he'd pick things up, flip them over, start reading the ingredient list quietly to himself, and I would just stand there. Half embarrassed, half annoyed, like, Ethan, babe, just stand by the door like a normal boyfriend, please. I used to make little comments under my breath. You don't even use half this stuff. He never really fought back, just kind of shrugged and kept reading. And that made it worse somehow. I wanted him to argue so I could feel right about dismissing him. Here's the thing I should mention. I had been dealing with breakouts on my jaw and chin for probably 3 years at that point. I had tried prescription stuff, clean products, even cutting out dairy for 6 weeks, which was its own personal tragedy. Nothing touched it. My dermatologist shrugged and said it was probably hormonal. I had accepted it, made peace with it. Concealer in the morning, that's just life. One night we were both just sitting on the couch and I was complaining about a new one that had appeared literally overnight. Ethan looked over and without making a thing of it goes, "Are you still using that face wash? The one in the green bottle?" And I said, "Yes, obviously. I've been using it for 2 years. It's gentle, it's fragrance-free." And he just kind of nodded slowly and said, "It has SLS in it. It's probably stripping your barrier and your skin keeps overproducing oil to compensate. That's usually why you get clustering around the jaw." I stared at him. I said, "What is SLS?" He explained it like it was nothing. Sodium lauryl sulfate, common in cleansers, genuinely disruptive for acne-prone skin. He'd figured it out when his own skin was being weird, switched his cleanser, cleared up in 10 days. I did not say thank you. I said, "I think I know my own skin, Ethan," and I went to bed. And then, I'm not proud of this, I Googled it at midnight. Every single thing he said was right. Forum post after forum post, people describing exactly what I'd been experiencing for 3 years, and every single one had the same fix. Ditch the SLS cleanser. The next morning I went to the drugstore quietly, found a simple, no fragrance, no SLS cleanser. $12. I didn't tell Ethan. If it worked, I was simply going to never bring it up. 2 weeks later, my skin was the clearest it had been in 3 years. Not a little clearer. Dramatically, noticeably, I had to look twice in the mirror, clearer. I walked out to the living room where Ethan was watching something on his laptop, and I sat down next to him and said, "Okay, you were right," and he looked at me and said, "About what?" Genuinely could not remember the conversation, it was that casual to him. And I explained and he just smiled and said, "Oh nice, yeah, I figured that was probably it. That was it. No, I told you so. No big moment. Just nice, yeah, I figured." And that broke something open in me a little, because I realized I had been defensive about something for years that had an actual, affordable, simple solution, and the reason I hadn't found it was because I was too proud to take seriously the person sitting right next to me. I had a whole story in my head about who was allowed to know things about skincare, and that story cost me 3 years of unnecessary breakouts and hundreds of dollars in products that were actively making things worse. Ethan now fully helps me shop for skincare. I ask his opinion before I buy things. He reads labels, I make the final call. We've found a system. My skin has stayed clear. Our Sephora trips are genuinely more efficient. He also recently told me I should add a niacinamide serum, and honestly, at this point, I just said okay immediately and put it in the basket. The ego has officially left the building.